Hi y'all, it's me. Um, my name is Azure. That's my name. That's what I go by in my everyday life. Um, Trying to figure out how to do the social media thing is weird. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I feel like I have stories that I want to share, and I feel like I have a voice I want to use to advocate for myself and advocate for people, especially in such a crazy shit time. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I'm feeling like I don't want my social media addiction to control my life, but I don't know how to have social media without having the addiction. So I don't know. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Um, I'm 2 months post op. I'm also 2 months post testosterone, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So, post testosterone, I'm starting to get my estrogen dominant hormone cycles back, which is honestly fantastic. And I used to be the kind of person where when I started to explore the gender dysphoria stuff years ago, I found my period was incredibly dysphoric. I thought maybe someday I'd want even like a hysterectomy, something to get rid of it completely. Just like, no, I don't want that. I never want to have a kid. I never want to be fertile. I don't care. Get rid of all of that. No periods for me. Um, but that's changed as things do. And I got my first period last week, and it felt so fucking good. I can't even describe. Like, every time I would look down and just see like blood everywhere, in the toilet, in my underwear, in my pants, wherever, it just was like, oh my God, thank fuck this is back. And actually, a few days before I got my period, I took a pregnancy test, which I have been having sex for a really long time for reasons I'll share another time. Um, and I've had a lot of pregnancy scares, never taken a test. Never. Just been bottled up and terrified. But I was on a walk and it had been a while since I had my period and there was a possibility, and so I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to take one. And I did. And so I felt the entire emotional spectrum of what that meant, within the hour and a half of deciding I needed to get the test to taking it and getting a negative result. I went through this whole thing. And ultimately, I realized that I really want to have a bio kid. And I didn't know that. I thought maybe someday I'll adopt, or the universe will just present me with a child who needs a home and that will be my kid. Because I don't want to continue populating the earth. I mean, we have too many people anyway, and I don't, for all of these reasons, I didn't think I wanted a bio kid, but I really do. And it was a profoundly spiritual experience for me that I didn't realize I felt that way. And so I'm not in any rush. I'm thinking like mid-30s maybe. So I've got like a decade. But yeah, that was just a really, really interesting learning curve moment for me. I feel good about now, and so I'm off of my first period. The week is kind of, I've got the tap is being closed. There's a little bit dribbling out still, but I'm really excited to be back on my hormone cycles, and it feels really good for me. It feels so good to not be shooting myself up with testosterone every week. I'm just feeling like myself, and I'm really grateful that in my journey I've been able to hold it open enough for change, because I'm a constantly changing human, as many of us are, and testosterone was not meant to be my forever, and I may still go on it again someday. Who knows? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel in the future. So as for top surgery, let me show you how we're looking. 2 months 2 months post-op, and I look fantastic. Don't mind the nicotine patch. I look at this, so good, looks incredible. And the surgeon told me that the scars are supposed to get like worse looking over the first like 3 months. Like, they get really intense, and I can kind of tell, like, if you really look at them, like, they're quite red, you know but after the kind of 3 month peak, then they start to begin to fade a little bit. So, but honestly, I don't give a shit what they look like. I'm just so happy that they're gone, and I'm shocked. Like, I knew it would be a life-changing thing for me. I knew I would feel so much better in my skin, but you don't actually understand what that practically means until you've experienced it. Because practically what that means is, like, I went out last weekend with some friends, and I dressed up to go out for the first time since top surgery. And none of the dressing up was about whether or not I felt comfortable in my body. It was just about style. All of a sudden, it was just, oh, what do I want to wear? What do I feel like I want to, oh, this element looks good with this, and this color with that, and that pattern. Nothing had to do with how my chest looks or how I feel in the clothing. Like it was so different, and everything I put on was like, oh yeah, I look fire, but not tonight. Not maybe this. Oh, but what if I put? Like it was just like this extra level that I didn't realize I'd been working with. This extra barrier that was like, very subconscious almost, just gone. And dancing, oh my god, I dance all the time now. I'm like always moving my body. I'm like singing all the time. I'm walking around. I stand up straight now. Like when I'm walking, I can feel my posture different. I actually don't even know how to walk because I feel like I've actually been walking wrong most of my life because I've had this extra piece that I've been like hunching over trying to cover as I walk, and the extra weight holding me down on the front. And so like every single thing that I do is different now in a subtle but incredibly life-changing way. So, I know shit's crazy right now with the states especially and all the trans stuff going on. But saved my life. Trans healthcare saves lives. And the issue people have with it is that they don't want those lives to be saved. Which is fucked up. I mean, whatever. People are stupid. But, yeah, I'm feeling great. And, another thing is this side, as you can kind of see, if I can bring in the camera a little bit, there's still bits that aren't closed. Still bits that I'm like disinfecting on the daily. Obviously, there's some, this one's a lot straighter. This one's got some kind of lumpy bits. But you know what? I'm right hand dominant, phone addiction, using my right arm and hand for everything. So I really think that that's why this one hasn't closed the same. And it will close and then sometimes reopen a little bit. And I was feeling stressed about that until I reminded myself that healing isn't linear. And that's kind of something that's said more in the mental health community. Healing isn't linear. But actually, it can apply to all healing. This eventually will heal up. Eventually, none of this will be open anymore. It will all be closed and fine and no problem, and I won't even notice it anymore. But I'm only 2 months post-op. So what if it opens a little bit more? I just take care of it, wash it, clean it, make sure it's good, move on. So good reminder for anybody out there healing from surgeries, or healing from anything really, is that healing is not linear. Physical, emotional, mental, none of it. So give yourself the grace. And yeah, so that's where I'm at, feeling great, looking fine. It's crazy to see all my ribs. You don't realize that really the breast tissue like starts here. Like it starts high. And when I feel around for sensation, this is where I begin to lose sensation. Like way up here, So like if you can see, look, you can see these divots in my ribs. So when I like stretch like this, I could see my fucking rib cage, which is crazy. I've never experienced that before. And it's like, if I forgot I had a skeleton, now I can't. I know I have a skeleton, I can see it. Just kind of weird. Other updates, I'm single now. I'm single. And honestly, every day I get a little happier that I'm single, and I question a little bit more why I wasn't. Because I'm feeling so free and liberated in my life now that all of the non-freedom of my life, I'm becoming so much more aware of how unjust it was and how much it was harming me. And therefore the people around me too. Also, I have this giant snake, which I love so much. It's the year of the wood snake in Chinese zodiac. And I just accidentally happened to have a green giant stuffed snake, so I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, I will never take my freedom for granted again. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I've also decided as a result that I'm gonna go abstinent this year to some degree. And what that means for me, I think, is I'm just gonna take sexual energy and romantic energy and focus it towards myself, not express it anywhere else with anyone else. Because, well, I guess I can mention it. I was sexually abused as a child, and I didn't know that that's what happened until last year when I had these blocked memories come back. I've obviously been experiencing the fallout of the PTSD and the CPTSD my entire life without knowing. I've been suffering heavily as a result for so long, and been working on it and trying to figure out why, and I couldn't understand why. And finally I had these memories come back in May, and it changed everything. I mean, it was horrible, but also I'm free now because now I know. And yeah, so I, unfortunately, non-consensually was sexually active very young. And then from that point forward, I started having romantic relationships and sexual relationships very, very young. And it's just been this consistent, like, revolving door. And I'm not the kind of person that, like I can't do one night stands. It's not in me to do that. Like, not for me. So all of these are relationships where I'm fully emotionally invested and completely attached to the person. And what I realized too is that inherently I'm like a shapeshifter type. I really can be anyone or anything at any given time. I'm constantly changing. And that's a beautiful thing. I don't think it's a bad quality to have. But because I've always been attached to a person, I'm always shapeshifting for them or towards them. Whereas now that I'm a free agent and I'm really committed now to keeping it that way, I can shapeshift however I please for me, for what I feel is necessary, for who I feel I need to be to show up in any given moment. So yeah, I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm really afraid. I'm really, really inherently afraid to take sex and romance off the table for a year because I don't know anything else. I know that I need it. I know that it's going to be really challenging. And I'm really afraid because I don't know what it could be like. I don't know what life is like without someone wanting to have sex with me and me giving that to them. I don't know what life is like to not be romantically obsessed with somebody. I don't know. And that's not fair to me, especially now that I have all this autonomy and freedom in my body and in myself. And I desperately need to learn what it's like to just be me, to just be me for me, to romance myself, to be special with myself and to love myself and really focus on that and also focus on just having friends because friendship and romance has gotten so muddled up in my head. I don't know the difference. And so I really want to figure out the difference. And I also want to figure out touch because touch and feel those are my main sense. That's my primary sense. I'm gifted with touch and feel. But I'm so uncomfortable with it. And I don't understand platonic touch. I don't know how to be physically affectionate with friends. I don't know how to be physically affectionate with family members. I just don't know how to do so many things that I see people around me who do know how to do it because they don't have the life experience that I do to have fucked it all up. And I'm just like, I'm heartbroken for myself that I don't know what it's like. So I feel like this year I gotta put focus on that and making that happen for me. So that's what I want to do. And I want to find a way to talk about it openly. And I have Instagram and I do stories often, just 1 minute little videos. But I feel like I need to start making reels or something. It's just that the reel format is so addictive and inherently psychologically manipulative, and I don't like that. And Meta is fucked. It's so awful. And TikTok is dying in the States, ? I don't really know where we landed on that. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I just know that I'm gonna do something different. And I think that's all I want to say today. So thanks for tuning in. Love you always. And we'll see you next time.